am at my hotel room and I'm here to teach you the best English. So let's see who is here. Jana from the Czech Republic. Welcome. How are you doing this evening? How are you doing? What are you drinking? How was dinner? Share something interesting about your week, something interesting about your day. Let's get the discussion here. Let's get the discussion going. All right. So, Maria from Spain, welcome to all of you. So happy to see you guys. So happy. Sonia from Croatia, welcome. Iris, welcome, Iris. How are you doing? Everyone, welcome to this lesson. So today I have something very special for you. Why? Because it is my last evening in Rome, and I'm going to talk to you about Rome. It's a magical place. I've been here for the last 9 days. It's been amazing. And we're going to talk about Rome. All right. So I'm very excited about today. Let's get this conversation going. All right. Let's get this conversation going, guys. Thank you for asking, Jan. I'm doing very well. Lil from Romania. Welcome, Lil. Yes, I'm still in Italy, Lil, but I'm going back home tomorrow. All right. So I'm a little bit sad, but every trip must come to an end. Mr. Potato is here. Welcome. Anastasia from Ukraine. Okay. So welcome to everyone. If you are here for the first time, this is your ticket to learn the best English on the internet. All right, this is the best method to become fluent. Look at this beautiful city, this old, beautiful city. They call it the eternal city. So eternity or eternal, it means it's forever, right? It will never die. It will never go away. That's what they call Rome. So let me ask you a question. If you want to ask someone, right, about their past visits to Rome, do you say, have you ever been in Rome? Have you ever been to Rome? Have you ever been on Rome? Or have you ever been about Rome? All right, so here, prepositions. I know you know the first part, but I hear this a lot. So, Carmen, welcome, Carmen. Okay, great to have so many people here in the chat. All right, so have you ever been in Rome? Have you ever been to Rome? Big mistake. I hear this mistake all the time. So don't worry if you don't know, right? If you don't know, I'm going to explain to you right now. All right, 50-50. 50% of you got a point. 50% of you lost a point. When do we say in or when do you say to? Big question. Okay, so if there's any movement, you always say to. You use to. I'm walking to school. I'm driving to work. I'm cycling to the park. I'm traveling to. Right. Now here we use been, right? Have you ever been? Now, I know what all of you say. Will say be. Be is no movement. Actually here, there is a movement that is implied. You imply the movement because you're not in Rome right now. So we say, have you ever traveled to Rome? Have you ever gone to Rome? Have you ever taken a trip to Rome? So even though it's the verb to be, there is an implied movement, right? But for example, if there's no movement, are you in Rome now? There's no movement. I'm in Rome. I'm still in Rome. You don't say I am to Rome. No, I am in Rome because I'm not moving there. I'm not traveling there. I'm not flying there. All right. Does this make sense, guys? Tell me in the chat if you understand this. All right. This is why here, been, right? The been implies movement. Have you ever been to Paris? Have you ever been to Rome? All right. So yeah, no movement. I am in Rome now. Very nice. Okay. So have I been there? Let's see. What question did I miss here? Somebody asked, have you ever been to Germany? Yes, of course, common. I've been to Germany many times, plenty of times. And I love Germany. It's a great country. My sister lives there, so I go there several times a year. Sometimes I go there 3, 4 times a year. So I'm very close to Germany. So here, have you ever been to Rome? Let me ask you, and let's see how many of you have been to Rome. All right, have you ever been to Rome? Last time I asked you about Paris, about London. I want to know how many of you have been to Rome. Right? If you haven't, tell me in the chat if you would like to go to Rome. All right, so circle the 2. I'm going to Rome. I'm traveling to Rome. Common in 2005. Iris said yes. Okay, very nice. All right, exactly. So how many people? Oh, really? Potato would like to go. Okay. Right. Oh, yes. Common has been to the Vatican. That's very good. Yes, I was at the Vatican Museum yesterday. I was in the Vatican several times before. I visited St. Peter's Church. I went to Mass there. I saw the Pope on Monday. On Monday, it was a holiday. It was a church day, and the Pope gave Mass. And I saw him. I was like 2 meters away from him. So it was a very nice experience. So how many? Oh, wow. Okay, so nobody has been to Rome. Maria would like to travel to Rome, but she's never been. Okay, so David from Hungary said yes. Okay, so we have David and Common have been. Sonia is planning to go. Okay, that's amazing. That is amazing. Anastasia saw my videos on Instagram. Congratulations. Congratulations thanks for supporting me. Okay, let's put that. Yes. Comment awful lot. Very good. Yeah, it was a great time. I've got a lot of content. I just haven't had time to post it because I have so many experiences that I'd like to post, but I will post them hopefully maybe tomorrow or in the next few days. Lil has been to, so Lil, you made the same mistake. I was in Italy. I've been to Italy. This is exactly what I've been telling you, right? The prepositions, Lil. Okay. Not I was in Italy. I've been to Italy. Okay. We need to change these things. We need to change these. You are not in Italy right now, so you've been there several times, or you've been here. I've been to. Have you been to? I've been to. Have you been to? I've been to. You need to program this language. I know that in your language, it's probably I was. Many languages, it's like that. It's the verb to be in the past and then in, like inside the city. It makes sense. That's how it is in Spanish. Okay. But here it is this. I have been to Italy several times, but I've never visited Rome. But I tend to do it in the summer. Okay. So here, not I tend is I normally do it. I'm planning to do it. I'm planning to do it and not no in. this summer? All right, so take a screenshot there. And oh wow. Okay. So the worst pizza, it was in Rome. Okay. You probably didn't go to the good places, comment. You need to go to the good restaurants. Rome probably has the best pizza, but you need to be able to find the good place. Some people say Naples, but there's a lot more money in Rome, right? There's a lot more money in Rome, and it's the capital. So a lot of the famous chefs and the good, I guess you call them pizzeros. All right. So is that how you say it? Like pizza man, the best pizza men are probably in Rome, maybe in the north in Milan, because that's where all the money is. That's where the business opportunities are. That would make sense. But of course, Naples, right? That's where they say that's like the birthplace of the pizza. But of course, sometimes Naples is not, there's a lot less money in Naples and a lot less business opportunities there. So if you're a good chef and you have a really good restaurant and you have a very good recipe, you will probably go to either Rome, Milan, maybe Florence, one of the big cities. So it's an experience. Exactly. That's why you say, I've been to. I have eaten, I've tasted the best pizza ever. Okay. So read it not, I was eating, I ate pizza. All right. So not was eating if it's an action that is happening at the same time as something else. I ate. I ate. Okay. Or I had. You could just say I had. That sounds more natural. I had some good pizza from a small bistro. In meters, I don't know what you mean by in meters, but yeah, a small bistro. I went to Rome once. Yes, if it's one time, then it's went. I went to Rome in 2005. There, you don't say I've been to Rome in 2005. You say I went because it's a specific time. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I am enjoying it, Judge. It's a great place. Okay. So we're going to start with a little bit of history. So here's a map. This is the Roman Empire at its height. So tell me here, what countries or what present day countries did the Roman Empire include? So tell me kind of what countries, right? Some of them you see here, right? Some of them but what other countries, right? So of course we know Italy. We don't have to say Italy, right? But the Roman Empire included a lot of countries. Which countries? Right. That is how big the Roman Empire was. And a lot of people don't understand that this was 2,000 years ago, maybe 1,500, between 1,500 and 2,000 years ago. And yeah, it included Greece. Very good, JJ. Right. Parts of Ukraine, right? Crimea and the western part of Ukraine. So all these countries, and from Britain, present day England, so not Scotland. Scotland wasn't part of the Roman Empire, but England was. It was Anglia or Britannia, all the way to Baghdad, right? All the way to Iraq, right? To the Arabian Sea or the Persian Gulf, to the Nile, to the Euphrates, Tigris and Euphrates, the Red Sea, Turkey, the southern England, but actually probably most of England, but not Scotland, Spain, Portugal, that's right, France, Germany, at least the southern part of Germany. I think it was the Danube, that was the border, the Danube River, right? Yeah, Egypt, all of North Africa, Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Jordan, so many places, even the Caucasus, like Armenia, so Romania, Moldova, exactly, Moldova. So Very nice. So all these countries, right? And remember, it was, even though there were a lot of dialects, like Latin, there was one language that was the language of the Roman Empire, and people everywhere, you could always find someone who spoke Latin. It was like English now. You can travel anywhere in the world, and if English, you can communicate with people. Back then, it was Latin. So you can be in Britain, in England, and if you were in the elite circle, people with power, right? Maybe the peasants, the people on the street, the normal people, maybe they didn't speak Latin. But people in higher society knew Latin. So you also had one currency, right? The coins, the Roman coins that you can use in England or in Iraq, right? Same currency. So it was crazy. It's true, Maria, right? So huge. It was enormous. No, they didn't get to India or China. That was Alexander the Great Common. That's a different period in history. He was Macedonian, right? Or Greek. And he got all the way. He got to Afghanistan, Persia, even parts of China. He got there, all the way over there. Yeah. Yeah, I do understand a lot of Italian, JJ. Not everything. A few words. But with French, I speak French and Spanish. I can get by. All right. So what have the Romans done for us? We're going to talk about that, Maria. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So yeah, also Albania. That's true. Albania was part of Syria, was part of the Roman Empire. Judea, that was the Jewish land, present day Israel, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, all that. Okay. So that was it. Very nice. Okay. So let's continue here. So what do you call this when you have a long name and then a small name? Okay. A long name and then you make it short. Right. So it's something name. Okay. Do you say it the tick name, the big name, okay, the nickname, or the slick name? Okay. So which one of these means? Right. So you have, for example, Maxwell and then Max. Right. For me, David, and then I don't use a nickname, but many people who are called David, they tell people, call me Dave. Okay, exactly. Very nice. It's very nice. Okay, great. A lot of messages here. Oh, Sasha, right? So if you're Alexander or Alexandra, it's Sasha. So do you use a nickname? Yes or no? Okay. Yes or no? Do you use a nickname? Do people call you, something else, or maybe a shorter version of your name? Nastya. Okay, so Anastasia, Nastya. Okay, that's a good one. My nickname would be Sasha from Alexander because I'm David Alexander. So Alexander can be Sasha. Right? So Lil, it's Lil Liliana. Potato. What potato is your nickname? Because your real name is not Potato. I know that. So Masha, Maria in Ukraine would be Masha. JJ. Yeah, JJ is, so Jessica from Italy. It's Jessica. She uses JJ, and JJ is a man's. Typically, it's a male nickname, but you could also be Jess, right? But if you like JJ, JJ is fine. But typically, JJ is for men, right? So here, how many people? 60% said no, 40% said yes. So if you have a nickname, write it in the chat. So common, is it Ka or Kam? or men, just men, right? So Kenny, Bodo, ooh, interesting. Or Bore or Bore. Okay, very nice. A lot of nice nicknames, but some people don't like nicknames. I like my full name, David. It's short, it's nice, elegant. Why make it shorter? Dave doesn't sound as powerful as David. It's almost like too short. So I use David. Right. So this guy, okay. So what do you call this? When this guy's running, right? So he's running for a long time. And when you have the ability, right? So when you can go for a long time, right? So you can go for a long time, run for a long time. Do you have speed, velocity, endurance, or strength? This is when you can run for a long time. Like this guy, he's running in the desert for many kilometers. When you can go for a long time, when it doesn't have to be running, it can be something else too, right? It can be biking, it can be walking, it could even be maybe studying or working. All right. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, okay. So a lot of nicknames here. I see you guys like that. That conversation, and that's important. It's important for you to communicate. So make sure that if you are here, don't be shy, right? Communicate with everyone in the chat. Leave a comment, ask questions. All right. So it is very good. So it's not velocity, it's not speed, right? It's different. It's not strength. Strength is when you're strong, right? Speed is when you're fast. This guy has endurance, right? So when you have endurance, you can go for a long time, right? You can withstand or endure or remain strong, remain standing for a long time, even with a difficult process or with a difficult situation, without giving up, without falling, right? For example, have you ever had to endure tough economic times? Yes or no? So here it's based on endurance, right? So here, have you ever had to endure, to go through, to resist, to stay strong in difficult economic times? So sometimes there's a crisis, like sometimes, for example, in 2008, 2009, a lot of people had to go through or they had to endure tough economic times. Right? There was a crisis. There were no jobs. So you had to endure. So that comes from endurance. Endurance is to stay strong even in difficult times, and to endure means to stay strong. Okay? So you can share here in 2008, 2009, a lot of people had to endure difficult times, financial times, economic times. But right now, it has been better. But these things always come back. Little lived under communism, so you had to endure it, right? It wasn't easy. You had to endure those difficult moments out of that difficult time. Iris also under communism. That's true. That is true. Also, endurance, JJ. Endurance is not to stay strong. To stay strong is to endure. Endurance, it's the quality of being able to stay strong. So it's the quality, right? When you have endurance, you have that ability, that quality to stay strong. Yeah, the 90s in Bulgaria common. Now, the tough times, very difficult times. Inflation over 3,000% for 2 months in 1996. That's crazy. People complain today, they complain of 20% inflation in 1 year. 25% inflation in 1 year is crazy for people in the European Union, in the US. But in 1996, in 2 months, 3,000% inflation. That's crazy. But you had to endure it. You had to stay strong. You had to find solutions. Yeah, it's true. It is very difficult, Anastasia. Eat the frog. Oh, that could be a good one. That could be a good lesson, JJ. It's a time management method. I think I've already mentioned it, but we can do it. We can do something like that again. Zimbabwe. Potato. Yes, that was like 1,000,000% inflation, right? It was so everyone said, yes, they had to endure tough times. Okay, so next one. Here we have a man who writes poems. Do you call this a poetician, right? A politician, okay? A poet, or a poet. Someone who writes poems, right? So someone it's like a song, right? But they rhyme. They have rhymes. So I am going to go and to a place with a lot of snow. And I would like to sew things for my bro, something like that. So those are rhymes. Those are rhymes. And when you write a fancy, I gave you a very simple version of that, but these guys, they create beauty with words. They create different constructions, different combinations, right? It's almost musical. All right. This is a poet, someone who writes poems, a man or a woman, a person who writes poems is a poet. Yeah, poetry. Poetry is uncountable, JJ. Very good. So you write poems, that's called poetry. And you can't do poetry in plural. It's uncountable. I like poetry. Do you write poetry? Not, oh, I'm going to write some poetries. No, I'm going to write some poems. Not all poems rhyme, that's true. Many of them do. But all of them have a play on words. Right? And there's different forms of rhyming too. There's A, B, B, C, but they also have A, B, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So there's different plays. And if you study this, you know that it's deep. A lot of different styles. Yeah, Virgil, for example, great poet from antiquity. Right, and it says politicians write even better, incredible stories. Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe some do. Common. Some senators were poets as well, but someone who writes poems is a poet. Okay. And he's holding a pen. So he's probably writing something. All right. So the main thing here is to focus on the fact that he write. Okay. That he write. And good. Very nice. Now, here, this is a way to say. So here you have Caesar, right? Or the AI version of Caesar. Okay. And when you announce something publicly or officially, what do you call that? Do you say dictate, pontificate, proclaim, or declare? Okay. Which one of these is the best definition to announce something publicly, officially, right? When you, it can also be indicate, right? And if you indicate something, right, but it's something that a president would say or a senator would say, or good. All right. Yeah. So thank you, Anastasia. So what rule do they need to learn? What rule do people need to learn? Anastasia. Okay. So which one is it? Which is the definition of this? To announce something officially, something that a president, that a king says in front of everyone. Okay. Ooh, only 14% got it. So proclaim. Now, declare is a bit different, right? If you declare something, right, you say it in a solemn way, it's more like you announce, right? You communicate, you state it, right? But when you proclaim, you are saying, you are sharing maybe a statement, but in an official way, and something that someone in a position of power says. So declare, now it can be, sometimes they can be used interchangeably, but the one that I want you to remember is proclaim. No, not declare, JJ. The correct answer is proclaim. Okay. Declare is to say something in a direct way, pretty much. All right, in a direct way. So here, what did Caesar proclaim? Right? Or what did your president proclaim? Or what did Elon Musk proclaim? What are some examples of official things that people in positions of power have announced publicly and officially? Okay. Yes, that's right. Okay, yeah. So declare is a little bit different, just to say something and make a declaration. You just say it. Oh, okay. So here we have some etymology. Okay, so copy paste from Wikipedia. Thank you very much. So let's read this one. So proclaim comes from proclamo, proclamare, from pro or pro, which fourth, forward or something like that, and clamo, which means to shout. Right? Or in English, you also have claim, clamo, to cry out, right? And so both of them together, to cry out or to shout, forward, right? Because you speak to a group of people. Proclaim, right? You have a lot of languages have this. And that is very true. A lot of languages have this because a lot of the intelligentsia language, the intellectual language, the language of philosophical idea language, the technical language, the scientific language, the literary language, the academic language, all of this language was pretty much the same in the past from region to region. It's only language changed a lot when it comes to the peasant language, to the language, the ordinary language, the language that people used in their day-to-day, because the peasants didn't travel. The peasants didn't travel, so that language stayed in that area. And also their conversations and they weren't as intellectual, as academic, as technical as the intelligentsia. So that's why. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Proclamare in Italian. So Caesar proclaimed himself dictator for life. Very good sentence, Lil. So he proclaimed himself. Right? David from Hungary says Trump proclaimed that he needs Canada and Greenland. Okay. Yeah. He proclaimed that he wanted to bring Canada and Greenland, unite them to the United States of America. to help them, and to make America bigger. And so that's what he proclaimed. Do I create the images with DALL-E? I create it with, sometimes I find them online, sometimes I create them with, my favorite one is Midjourney, right in Mexico too. Yeah, that's what they're planning to do. Who knows if it'll be possible, but that's what they're planning to do. So Caesar proclaimed. Right, so here, Rome is often called the Eternal City. And Rome got its name, or its nickname, got this nickname, the Eternal City, because of its enduring history. Right? So we talked about endurance. This is an enduring history. If you read the history of Rome, it's a miracle that it still exists. How many wars, how many catastrophes, how many fires, how many revolutions, it has to be a miracle that Rome is still standing. Now, of course, it's not the same Rome. I understand that. And I know that there have been a lot of new constructions, new buildings. It's not the exact same city, but the city has been a major city for over 2,000 years, 2,500 years, maybe. Imagine that, right? It's been a major city for over 2,500 years. So that's why they call it the Eternal City. It's endured a lot of difficult times. And the belief was that it will always stand, that Rome will never fall. It's a city that will never burn, never fall, never die. Right? And this is ancient poets and historians talked about Rome this way, that it had like a magical power, that it was protected, that it had this mystical element to Rome that made it so strong. And that's why they said this city will endure forever. It's the eternal city, right? Now, some practical language here, okay? Tourists flock to Rome in high numbers. Tourists flock to Rome in high numbers. Tourists trock to Rome in high numbers, or tourists dock to Rome in high numbers. This means they go there like birds, right? Like birds, they just go, summertime comes around, or even New Year and the whole Christmas, New Year holiday, and millions of people go to Rome, especially right now that it's a Jubilee year. That means for Christians and Catholics, more specifically. For Catholics, it's a very special year. Every 25 years, there's a Jubilee year, and millions of people flock. So flock, it comes from birds. Birds flock, they fly together. But we can use this with people too. And it denotes that people move aggressively. They travel in high numbers together. So they flock to Rome. Exactly, real, like sheep as well. All right, here. Now, if you talk about ruins, all right, for example, the Colosseum, the Roman Forum, Palatine Hill, or Pompeii. I went to Pompeii too, and I'm going to post a video. So definitely follow me for those videos. Do you say old ruins? Do you say antique ruins? Do you say ancient ruins? Or do you say historic ruins? Which word, or which adjective in this case, best describes when you talked about very old, right? So Colosseum is 2,000 years old. So you want something more than old. You don't want to just say old can be 50 years, 100 years, 200 years is old. This is more than that. Okay, this is more than, it's a very old. Okay. All right, very good. So here, choose the one. Okay, choose the best one, and I will tell you. Okay, so question: what's the difference between historic and historical? Okay, so this is, a lot of people get this one wrong. All right, so let me explain this one. So historic is something that is important, right, to human history, of something of great importance, something that is very important. That's a historic moment. You don't say a historical moment, a historic moment, important moment. Okay, important in the past. Something historical is related to the past, right? Because you say, okay, that's a historical building, right? And so I guess you could say an important building, that's historic building. A historical building, it's a building from the past, from history. Okay, so you have to see what is the context, right? So yeah, the historic battle, it's an important battle. So if you can use important, then just use historic. If it's something from the past, then it's historical. Okay, very nice, very nice. A historic event, right? If it's a historic event, you need to go there. A historical place, right? It's a place that has a lot of history. Very nice explanation there. All right, any other ones? You need good shoes for Pompeii. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And it's not easy because of the cobblestone streets. So you can twist your ankles. You need good shoes. Don't take your high heels there. Don't go to Pompeii with your high heels. So the best one here, ancient ruins. So ruins are all, historical right now. You wouldn't be able to say historic ruins because they're not important ruins. I guess you could say important ruins, but I think all ruins are important. You want to say antique. Antique is like furniture, tables that are antiques, right? Paintings, the old objects. And old ruins, when it comes to ruins, we use ancient ruins. So here, we're talking about the influence that the Roman Empire, more than just influence, that would you say the Roman Empire made Western civilization? The Roman Empire created Western civilization. The Roman Empire shaped Western civilization, or the Roman Empire figured Western civilization. So when you look at, we've already had a lesson about this, so we're not going to go through it again, but we talked everything from law, even architecture, even society and politics. A lot of these concepts have their roots in Rome, in the Roman Empire, and even before in Greece. So if you could say that Western civilization, which is, if you're in Europe, in America, Australia, Britain, even many countries, most countries, actually, maybe all countries in Latin America, Central and South America, would be considered Western. And Western civilization, Western society, was shaped by the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire shaped Western civilization, right? A lot of things that we don't even think about, right, were handed down to us by the Romans. Right, so this one, okay, what do you call this building? Is it the Parthenon? Right, okay, the Vatican, the Pantheon, okay, or the temple? What do you call this one? Let's see who knows. Don't write it in the chat. Just choose the answer. Let's see how many people recognize this place. Yeah, that's true. It's a thing. Right, a lamp, that's an antique. A lamp, a chair, a painting. Take a screenshot. Yes, Anastasia. Yeah, I have visited the Vatican several times, JJ. Last time I came to Rome, I went to the Vatican. And this time I went to the Vatican about 4 or 5 times this trip. So in 9 days, 10 days that I've been here, I've probably been there maybe 4 or 5 times. So I love it. It's an amazing place, very spiritual place, very beautiful place that has a lot of tradition, right? It's a very powerful place. So let's see. Oh, wow, 0%. Nobody got it. Okay, so I know where people got confused. So don't get confused with the Parthenon. Parthenon is different. That's in Athens. That's in Athens. They're different. Those are ancient ruins as well. But this is the Pantheon. It's not the Vatican. The Vatican is in Rome, but it's a different place. And of course, there used to be a temple. The Pantheon used to be a temple, but this is the oldest Roman dome actually the only Roman dome that is still intact, that hasn't crumbled. All other Roman domes that were built during the Roman Empire have all collapsed. This one is the only original dome from the Roman Empire that hasn't collapsed. Okay? Yeah, okay, exactly. Right, so yes, so this is and inside, it used to be a temple for these these Roman gods. And now this one, okay, let's see is this the Revi fountain, the Tevi fountain, the Trevi fountain, or the Levi fountain? Okay, so let's see how many people can know this. I'm testing your knowledge. All right, so this is a very nice fountain in the center of Rome. It's on the side of a building. I actually walked by there today, and it's so amazing. You can't believe your eyes. It's just like the side of a building, but it's a huge fountain. And it's called the Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain. So if you discover something by chance, do you stoop upon? Do you staple upon? Do you strap upon? Or do you stumble upon something? So you can, let's say, a hidden treasure. Right? Do you stoop upon a hidden treasure? Do you staple upon a hidden treasure? Do you strap upon a hidden treasure? Or do you stumble upon a hidden treasure? La dolce vita. That's right, Maria. Very nice. Yes. Okay. So actually, David dropped a coin in the Trevi Fountain. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that, and that's people believe, or some people believe, that it's good luck, right? So in Italian, it's Fontana di Trevi. In English, it's the Trevi Fountain. All right. So they want to introduce a fee, so you wouldn't say they want to charge. I would just say instead of introduce a fee, it's okay, but they want to charge. Easier. They want to charge people to visit it because there are too many people. Yeah, I can see that, but charge just to see a fountain, it seems a little bit excessive to me. So here, it's stumble upon. Okay, here. Which combination? So we say brilliance, where something is brilliant, it's amazing. Right? You have the Spanish Steps there. I was there at the Spanish Steps today. So you say architectured brilliance, architecturing brilliance, or architecturative brilliance, where it's amazing, it's brilliant. Wow, look at this architecture. Right? It is so fantastic. These Spanish Steps. Right? They're so beautiful. They wrap around the two sides, and there's a little area in the middle with some plaques, some commemorative plates there, or little monuments. There's a fountain at the bottom. This is a masterpiece. And there's a church at the very top. Beautiful church. So this is architectural brilliance. Right. Now this one. What's this? Or what place is this? Right. Is it the Palatine Hill, Capitol Hill? Is it the Vatican? Right. Or is it St. Paul's? Okay, what is this right here? What is this place? Yes, exactly. If you throw the coin, that means you will come back to Rome, Irena. 222. The first thing that I mentioned today, you will come back to, not come back in Rome. 22222. Okay. So that is the preposition. Exactly. Very nice, everyone. So it's not St. Paul's, it's St. Peter's, and it's part of of Vatican City. It's the basilica inside Vatican City, which is the smallest country in the world. Okay, this one. So it's a chapel. It's like a little church. Is it the 16th chapel or the Sistine Chapel? All right. Which one? What chapel is it? It's where they elect the new pope, and it's inside Vatican City. Is it the 16th or the Sistine? All right. A lot of people get confused. All right. Very nice. Sistine, right? Not 16th. It sounds like 16th, but it's not 16th. It's number one, right? The number one most important chapel. So these are pilgrims, right? Visitors, people who are religious, who travel to Rome for a religious experience because they are spiritual. They want to connect with God. So they travel there because they understand that Rome is the center of the church. So Vatican City, located within Rome. So Vatican City, like a city, but it's also a country inside of Rome. People don't understand this, but it is a country. Vatican City, they say, oh no, it's a city because it's Vatican City. No, it's called Vatican City, but it's a country. It's an independent country, but it's inside of Rome. Millions, so Vatican City draws millions of pilgrims every year who come to take in the splendor of St. Peter's Basilica and the Sistine Chapel. Right, so this is millions and millions of people. If you like food, Roman cuisine is something to savor. Savor means to enjoy, with classic dishes like carbonara and cacio e pepe that will win over even the pickiest of eaters. Right, so if you love your food, definitely get it. Now, public transport can be a little bit chaotic. It can be a little bit crazy. So it's best to plan ahead and map out your routes if you want to navigate the city efficiently. Right? Old history, it dates back to 753. So you will see 2,700 years of history, right? So it's an amazing place. If you've never been there, definitely